What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we are going to talk about the things they won't tell you about living in Arizona. Let's do it. The first thing they really won't tell you when you come to Arizona is about the allergies in the springtime. Many people that I know are affected by the blooms out here in the desert, in particular the Palo Verde tree. Now there are a couple other plants like the creosote that do bloom, and obviously some wildflowers and even the mesquite tree. But the thing that gets people the most out here is going to be those yellow flowers on the Palo Verde trees, and people wake up with swollen eyes, runny nose, clogged sinuses. That's because of those Palo Verdes. So when you have a Palo Verde tree near your house and you find out you're allergic, that's what the main culprit is. Here's something they won't tell you about our history. The state of Arizona officially became a state in 1912 on Valentine's Day. Also, the very first person from Europe to come to Arizona was Marcus de Niza. There's also the De Anza Trail. So well before the English were coming to settle the Arizona area, that eventually was part of the Gadsden Purchase of New Mexico, that whole area, we were actually visited by the Spaniards in this area in as early as the 1500s. So the history about Arizona is very rich, and the more you explore it, the more you find out. There was a lot of Native American people living here, and today we have more indigenous languages spoken in Arizona than any other state. But people won't tell you that because it's not necessarily a top priority. But now, there you go. To expand on some of the history, did you know that Arizona was home to the most western Civil War battle for the Confederate Army here in Arizona at Picacho Peak? So there you go. We also had internment camps in the Phoenix area during World War II. And we had the Barry Goldwater bombing range, which was part of the development of bombs and other technologies that eventually went up to Nevada to Area 51. But we do have bombing ranges from the 50s out here in Arizona. And here's something they won't tell you. The prices in Arizona for homes and property is skyrocketing. It's going way up. Yes, at one point in time, in around the year 2012, it was really affordable to scoop up some land and property and buy a home in Phoenix, Arizona, but those days are long gone. Tucson, Flagstaff, the prices are skyrocketing right here in 2021, but people won't tell you that until you get here and you're like, wait a second, cost of living has really gone up. This is something they don't really talk about, but we can really clear the air on this. We do have quite a few critters out here, and again, they don't tell you about all of them. You guys know about the rattlesnakes. Maybe you don't know about the Gila monster. We have mountain lions, black bears, we have coyotes, javelinas, many different wildlife that can be intrusive on your backyard, like a wildcat, a bobcat. Now, this is what I will say. Yes, we have those, but don't live in fear about those, okay? The one that people really are concerned about that I'm going to say you shouldn't have to worry about it is the scorpions. Yes, we have those, but not every home is going to have them. Here's something they're not going to tell you, but I'll tell you right here, right now. If you come from a home with two different vehicles, you will more than likely want to have one really fuel economic car, like a Prius, a Toyota Prius, and then a 4x4, something like a Jeep, or something that has a 4x4 for when you do decide to go off roads, because Arizona is very mountainous and you will decide that you want to go exploring at some point in time, more than likely. Unless you're just a total city slicker and you got to live in the city and you can't go out and about, but you're going to want to have a 4x4, but also because it's a big state and it's really spread out, you're going to want to have an economical car as well. Now, if you can get a 4x4 that just so happens to be fuel economics friendly, then more power to you. Here's something they won't tell you about living in Arizona. We have very diverse climate. We can have the coldest place in the country and the hottest place in the country all in the same day. And here's how that would work. Lake Havasu City in the middle of July might be 121 degrees. And then you go up to Mount Baldy in the White Mountains, or you go to Greer or the Kaibab, and you check the temperature gauge and it says 44 degrees for a low. So that's how that happens. But we have had that before. Now we also have the high alpine, we have the low deserts, and everything in between like the chaparral. So very diverse climate can be had in Arizona. It's not just all desert. We have definitely high forest, alpine terrain. Another thing they won't tell you, when you come out here, get ready to become part Mexican. We are very close to the Mexican border, and with that being said, you're going to find out that you're going to get a lot of Mexican food, margaritas, tequila, all of that integrated into your cultural experience here in Arizona. So you're going to learn to like hot foods and lime and all that stuff. Tacos, really popular out here in Arizona and the desert Southwest. So get ready for that, because if you're coming from New England where they got lobster, clam chowder, all that different stuff, put that away. You're not going to get that here. You're going to get Mexican cuisine. So with that being said, you'll probably want to take time to go down to Mexico and see just what it's all about at the root. Also learn some Spanish. This is something you may already know, but many people won't tell you this. You're going to have this problem with dehydration, dry skin. It doesn't happen to everybody, but you'll get dry scalp, dry skin, sunburn. You guys know about that existing, but you don't fully understand just how crazy it can get in the summertime until you actually get here. So figuring out ways to stay hydrated and moisturized, it is a thing out here. And you'll discover that, especially during the dry months when we won't have rain for 3-4 months at a time during a drought. Yeah, and when you're moving out here, guess who won't tell you about the hidden cost of living here? The HOAs. HOAs can really get you, whether you're living in a home, which is going to be cheaper than if you live in a condominium, because condominium HOA fees, homeowner associations, their fees can be upwards of $500 a month to $1,000 a month sometimes. I've actually seen that firsthand. So yeah, you might get locked into an $1,100 a month mortgage, but then you find out the HOA is $500 a month. Something like that, not too uncommon in condominiums. They won't tell you that. But also the power bills. So the electric in the summertime can be through the roof for some homes, especially if you have a 2-story house, because an air conditioner has to work double time to get that air all the way throughout the house to get you down to 74 degrees or 72 degrees, whatever you guys like to have it at. So the power bills can get up to $300, $400 a month. Obviously, it's not all negative, right? We have a lot of different areas you can go to for weekend getaways. Some people go to Puerto Penasco in Mexico. They go to San Diego during the summertime or even during the wintertime just to get the beach experience. Vegas, not too far away. All of those flights are about an hour away tops, even Los Angeles. Now, if you do want to go to Puerto Penasco in Mexico, it's about a 4-hour drive. Driving to San Diego, about a 5-hour drive. LA, same. Las Vegas, 5-hour drive. If you wanted to fly to Cabo San Lucas, it takes 2 hours. So things are really within striking distance out here, especially the cool stuff that you really want to do. Did you guys know that we're actually one of the top destinations in the world for golf? That's why you'll notice I wear Titleist, but people wear these polo shirts. That's part of the culture out here. Whereas if you're in Southern California, surfing is part of the culture. Out here in Arizona, golf, off-roading, that's part of the culture. Maybe even water sports at the lakes. We have a lot of reservoirs and lakes. So I wanted to put that out there because people might not be fully aware of that when they come out here. And then they clue in and they're like, now I get it. Something that people don't know when they come out here to Arizona is we have a lot of gems. We have the Tucson Gem Show. And you'll see people wearing this jewelry here. You can see this is turquoise on my watch. I also have a bolo tie, turquoise right here. So you'll notice a little bit different jewelry out here related to this blue rock. It's typically chrysocolla or turquoise, and that's what it is because that's what comes from Arizona. We're the copper state. And what is chrysocolla? Chrysocolla is what happens to copper when it oxidizes and turns blue. So you see that on the rocks, and you'll see the turquoise. And the Native Americans used to trade turquoise. So you'll notice when you sit down at a bar, especially where there's cowboys or old timers, they're wearing turquoise rings. So get you a pair of turquoise earrings, turquoise ring, turquoise necklace, bolo tie, whatever you want. So now you know. Contrary to popular belief, people out here in Arizona are really friendly. I know they say they don't want people coming in from certain states. They say, don't come in, we're full. But once you get here, you'll discover that most people are from out of town, and they kind of just say that to weed through the riffraff. But once you get here, you'll realize people in Arizona are friendly. They stick together. We love our sports teams when we win. We don't really like them when they lose because there's not too much buzz around those guys, and especially when they spend several years in the tanks like the Phoenix Suns. But when they do pick up, everyone comes together. We rally. We like the Cardinals. We're going to have a big year this year, and you'll notice that the big Arizona family does exist. And we can't forget the world-class fishing and hunting. We have several rivers and streams that people like to fly fish. People like to go out to the lakes and the reservoirs where they can catch all different types of catfish, trout, bass. It's all here in Arizona. The hunting, you have white-tailed deer, pronged deer. Now you need to get a license for all that, but once you have the permit, you can go hunting, and they'll give you a set amount that you can capture every single year and eat that wild game. And just a couple other quick tidbits to throw out there that you may or may not know. We do have a lot of Indian gaming out here in Phoenix, Tucson, across the state. Up north, you'll find that there's gambling and casinos. Matazel Casino. Up there in Payson, you'll find some stuff. You'll find some stuff in Show Low. So yes, on the reservations, gambling is legal, and it's basically all across the state. Also, Arizona is an open carry state. That means you will be outside in public and see someone with a gun holstered. Now, they can do that out here, and some people find that to be intimidating, but don't be surprised if you see someone with an open carry firearm on their hip. All right, guys, that's going to conclude this episode of Living in Arizona Now. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to this channel. Watch some of these other videos that we will put up there. We have a lot from across the state. Consider subscribing, of course. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.